Our movie opens with Sierra, a spoiled and pampered young woman who never does anything on her own. She's so used to luxury that she even has someone hired just to wake her up over the phone. Sierra lives in her father's grand hotel, where everything operates by remote control, and her room overlooks a breathtaking natural view. While chatting with her wealthy boyfriend on the phone, we learn that her father found her a job, but she has no intention of taking it. Just then, her personal assistant enters with the glam team her father hired to look after her, carrying the most elegant and expensive designer clothes. When she ends the call with her boyfriend, Tad, who's just as spoiled as Sierra, we find out his career is being a famous influencer with millions of followers on social media. Tad advises Sierra to reject her father's job offer and instead focus on boosting her online presence. But the moment he notices a drop in his Instagram engagement, he hangs up instantly to check what's wrong. Meanwhile, we meet Jake, a hardworking man with real values and integrity. He has an appointment with Sierra's father, Mr. Belmont, the wealthy hotel owner. Mr. Belmont tells Jake, "If you want to talk to me, you'll have to keep up," and begins walking quickly, forcing Jake to follow. But since Jake is respectful and humble, he lets the older man take the lead. During their talk, Jake requests financial help to save his small ski resort, which is about to go bankrupt. He explains that beginners start learning at his small resort before moving on to Mr. Belmont's luxury one, and if his resort closes, it will eventually affect the big one, too. But Mr. Belmont refuses his request and dismisses him. At that moment, the elegant Sierra comes downstairs to meet Tad, wearing a large hat and oversized sunglasses, something that'll make sense later. She accidentally bumps into Jake, dirtying her expensive outfit. Furious, Sierra complains, but Jake simply apologizes and leaves. Later at lunch, Sierra introduces Tad to her father. Mr. Belmont asks about Tad's business, and Sierra quickly corrects him, "It's not a business, Dad. Tad is an influencer with a huge following." It's clear Mr. Belmont disapproves of Tad, but he lets his daughter do as she pleases because he loves her too much to argue. When Jake returns to his small inn, he meets his daughter and mother-in-law, who are heading out to hang their wishes on the Christmas tree. He refuses to join them because it reminds him of his late wife. He used to do it with her. It's then we realize how deeply Jake loved his wife. He asks his daughter to make a wish for him, too. When his kind-hearted mother-in-law asks how his meeting with Mr. Belmont went, he admits it was their last hope, but Belmont turned him down, meaning bankruptcy is inevitable. She advises him to stay patient, pray, and trust that things will work out. Meanwhile, at the luxurious Belmont Hotel, Mr. Belmont tells Sierra that he'll be traveling for a week. While talking, she picks up a gift he once bought for her mother, surprising him that she remembers her, as Sierra was only 5 when her mother passed away. He hugs her and says lovingly, "Take care of yourself, sweetheart. I'll be back before you know it." Soon after, Tad arrives in his fancy car towing a snowmobile. He takes Sierra with him for a photo shoot in the mountains. Sierra tells her assistant, "I don't want to be disturbed," then hops into the car with Tad and drives off. Meanwhile, Jake works alone at his resort since he can't afford employees, taking 2 of his guests out for a short ski trip. Up in the mountains, Tad and Sierra unload the snowmobile and ride through the snow until they reach a dangerous area. There, Tad proposes to Sierra, but only to film the moment and gain social media engagement. At the same time, Jake's daughter hangs her wish on the Christmas tree as an old man nearby makes a mysterious magical gesture. Suddenly, a storm hits while Tad and Sierra are still up the mountain. Everything changes from that moment. The strong wind blows Sierra off the edge, and Tad falls too, but Sierra keeps rolling down until she hits her head on a tree. During his trip, Jake finds what appears to be a body lying in the snow. It's Sierra, unconscious. He rushes her to the hospital. There, the doctors reveal that she has lost her memory and can't recall her name or identity. They also find no form of ID on her. The officer tells her that since it's Christmas, it might take days to find her family. Jake offers to take her to his inn instead of letting her stay alone in the hospital. The doctor agrees, explaining that daily routine might help her memory return. Jake doesn't recognize her, because when they met before, she wore that big hat and huge sunglasses that hid her face. He gives her some old clothes, and for the first time ever, Sierra, now living simply, wears second-hand clothes. Meanwhile, Tad is lost in the woods until he stumbles upon a small cabin belonging to a strange old man named Ralph. Tad nearly faints when he sees worms in his coffee. The next morning, Sierra wakes up and opens her window to see people outside instead of the grand view she's used to. She tries remembering who she is but fails. Jake's daughter walks in and says, "You can't stay nameless forever. Pick one from my teddy bear's names." Sierra chooses Sarah. Later, when she joins them for breakfast, she insists on cooking but fails miserably, and Jake kindly tells her, "Why don't you sit with the little one? I'll take care of it." Meanwhile, Sierra's assistant and the hotel security are searching for her. When they see her bed neatly made, the assistant says, "She definitely didn't come back. Sierra would never make her own bed." Back at Jake's inn, Sarah tries to help with chores but fails at everything: cleaning, organizing, even laundry, spilling detergent everywhere. Later, while brushing Jake's daughter's hair, she suddenly recalls a saying her mother used to tell her as a child. Excited, she realizes it's her first memory. But the joy is interrupted when Jake finds the laundry mess and yells at her, hurting her feelings. She walks away sadly and tells the horse, "I fail at everything, but maybe I can collect firewood." Hearing this, Jake feels guilty and offers to take her and his daughter to the Christmas market. Sarah enjoys the festive place, telling Jake, "I don't remember ever being here." Jake opens up about his late wife and how their hotel, passed down through generations, is now in financial trouble. Sarah feels moved when she sees a snow globe identical to one Mr. Belmont had once bought for his wife, and Jake buys it for her. Later that night, fireworks light up the sky at the town celebration. When they return, Jake gently says, "I think that snow globe reminded you of something." She replies softly, "I remembered my mom, may she rest in peace, but it was faint." She adds, "If I had ever met someone like you before, I'd definitely remember." Jake looks at her with admiration. Sarah begins waking up early, making her bed, and cooking breakfast, truly becoming part of Jake's family. One day, while skiing, she loses control and Jake saves her. Another day, she finds an old Christmas ornament, a little bride, and learns it belonged to Jake and his late wife. He confesses he couldn't hang it again after she died. Sarah later joins him at a charity event and learns how generous Jake truly is. When they return, they almost kiss, but Jake pulls away, saying gently, "Maybe we shouldn't. You might already be engaged." The next morning, Sarah suggests reaching out to past guests for donations to save the inn. Jake refuses, saying proudly, "I don't take charity." She storms off, hurt. Later, his mother-in-law comforts him, telling him, "You're a good man, Jake. Love again. I forgive you, live your life." Sarah decides to leave, but Jake's daughter convinces her to stay. Jake finally hangs the little bride ornament, symbolizing he's ready to move on. They print invitations for a Christmas Eve party. Jake has finally agreed to Sarah's plan. Out in the forest, Tad and Ralph bond strangely. Ralph suggests Tad start a survival blog. Meanwhile, Mr. Belmont returns and demands his team find Sierra. The officer discovers Tad's note and realizes where she is. At the inn, Sarah prepares for the Christmas Eve party but feels insecure about her clothes. Jake's mother-in-law gifts her a beautiful dress. Meanwhile, at the police station, Tad and Mr. Belmont reunite, and the officer says, "I know where she is." Sarah walks downstairs in her dress, stunning Jake. They dance together as the guests arrive, including the mayor and all the former guests Jake once helped. Jake nervously speaks, but one guest stands up and donates, recalling Jake's kindness. Soon, everyone follows. Joy fills the room as donations pour in. Jake proudly introduces Sarah as the woman who changed his life, but the moment is interrupted when Tad and Mr. Belmont walk in, calling her Sierra. Her memories return instantly. She thanks Jake and leaves with her father. Heartbroken, Jake and his family watch as she goes. Back home, Sierra can't stop thinking about him. When her assistant finds her making her own bed, refusing fancy clothes and caviar, we see she's changed. She cooks the same breakfast Jake once made and then, during a press conference, publicly thanks Jake and his family for saving her, recommending their inn, which instantly goes viral. During the event, Tad declares they'll be traveling together, but Sierra realizes she can't do it. She returns the ring, saying, "Find someone else." Tad only asks if he can post the breakup online. Soon after, he finds himself a new partner, a man, not a woman. Jake's daughter tells him, "My wish was that you'd find love, and I thought it came true with Sierra." Encouraged, Jake rushes to find her. At the hotel, Sierra tells her father she's ready to get a real job, not one he gives her. He smiles proudly. Meanwhile, Jake's inn is flooded with bookings thanks to her publicity. When Sierra meets Tad to say goodbye, Jake arrives and finds she hasn't left. She smiles and says, "I'm staying here." He tells her, "My whole inn is fully booked because of you." She replies, "Then you'll need help running it." She adds, "My father agreed to fund your resort renovation, too." Mr. Belmont arrives with Jake's daughter, and everyone gathers joyfully. The film ends on a warm, happy note filled with love and family.